An indecipherable book from the 1500s leaves scientists scratching their heads. But this isn't just any old coded manuscript. This one is bound in human flesh. And then we take a look at the odd story of a girl and her cat. What starts off as a lovable, fun relationship turns sinister when the cat grabs a knife. And then finally we take a look at the story of a young woman dealing with the death of her mother. After moving back into the home she grew up in, she's hoping that she can restore it, sell it, and move on with her life. Little does she know her mother's spirit may have other plans. Today on Dead Rabbit Radio. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Dead Rabbit Radio. I'm your host, Jason Carpenter. I'm having a great day. Hope you guys are having a great day too. I hope you guys are having tons of fun doing whatever you're doing. We got a ton of stuff to cover today. So first off, running into Dead Rabbit Radio Command. Everyone get on your feet and give it up for Kaiser. Woohoo! Yeah, we're recording this episode kind of late at night, so sorry. Tiny claps, Kaiser. Kaiser bought some merch and sent me the photograph of it, and that is why Kaiser is getting to be the captain of the pilot this episode. I say that if you guys can't support the show financially through the Patreon or the merch store, it's totally fine. It really is. Just help spread the word about the show. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell everyone you know. Dead Rabbit Radio is your favorite paranormal show. That is how you can help the show grow. But if you do buy the merch, take a photo of it because it doesn't tell me who buys it. Take a photo of it, send it to me, and you will also get your shout out on Dead Rabbit Radio. Really appreciate you guys supporting the show. The merch is nice, right? Because I get a little bit of money, and it does also help spread the word, because people will put it on all sorts of things. Put it on forehead, put on that Dead Rabbit Radio sticker, walk around town with it on your forehead. That's not what Kaiser did. Kaiser didn't send me a photo of a forehead sticker, but thank you very much for supporting the show. Kaiser, let's go ahead and get this party started. I'm going to go ahead and, I think this is a new vehicle. Kaiser, let's go ahead and toss you the Bunny Boogie Board. Everyone climb on board the Bunny Boogie Board as Kaiser surfs ups us out of Dead Rabbit Radio Command, all the way out to Kakistan. Wee! I mean, I guess that's the sound you make on a boogie board. Surfs up, dude! Kaiser's like, can I return the merchandise? It's terrible. Terrible vehicle and a terrible sound effect. You should be ashamed of yourself, Jason. We're headed all the way out to Kakistan. I recently found this story quite bizarre in more ways than one. We're in Kakistan and we're going to visit the National Academic Library in Astana, Kakistan. So we walk in, it's a bunch of dorks standing around reading books. But we're not there for, the latest copy of the Danielle Steele novel or some famous book. It's a famous book that's been published after the year 2000. I don't know what's popular right now. We walk past Water for Elephants book section. We walk past the Harry Potter section. We're actually looking for the Rare Publications Museum. So this is like a certain part where like the real dorks hang out. You have to have a special type of nerd gene to be allowed in there. And we're in disguise, obviously. They think we're dorks, but we actually aren't. We walk into the Rare Publications Museum, and we see a bunch of guys sitting around this display case, and they're like, ooh, if only I could touch the pages. Oh, Joey, you want to touch the cover, you big old pervert, you big old weirdo. And Joey's crying. He's like, oh, my secret shame. They know I love human flesh books. Yeah, this book we're going to be looking at is one of the few books that we know of that are bound in human flesh. The cover is human skin. And we did an episode on it a while back. I'll put that episode in the show notes. But yeah, they're pretty rare, right? For multiple reasons. One, they're kind of hard to come by because they've always been rare. Two, to have a book that survived this long. This book's from 1532. So we're not just talking about dead man's flesh, we're talking about old dead man's flesh. I'm sure there are a lot of books that we don't know about that are bound in human flesh. I'm sure nowadays modern cultists do it. I'm sure that like tryhards do it. To be fair, I don't know if you're a tryhard if you actually skin a human and turn their flesh into a book. That does kind of make you one of the elite. It would be rare, but I'm sure there are books that are not in circulation we don't know about that are more modern, that are bound in human flesh. But as far as ancient books bound in human flesh, they're pretty rare. They were usually, you did this for a reason. It's not because you didn't have the money to bound it in leather. It's not because there weren't enough muskrats around to kill, to bind your book. You did it as a symbol. It was either for cultic reasons, or punishment reasons, or memento. You just really, you really liked that guy's skin. But, it's not something that you do willy-nilly. It's something that has always been seen as rare and significant. It was symbolic. What's interesting about this book, this is an actual book. You can go to the library, not your library, but you can go to Kakistan, and there's multiple photos of this thing. It is under a glass case, because Joey, that incident with Joey made them have to start to protect it. It is a book that has not been completely deciphered. It's really interesting digging into the articles on this thing, but there will be photographs in the show notes. It was donated by a private collector to the Kakistani library in 2014. And we don't know who donated it. I'm sure they do. I don't think it was wrapped up in a cloth with a crucifix nailed to the top of it. But they've had this book since 2014. Now, when you open it up and you look at the first couple pages, it's 330 pages long. A lot of articles on this say only the first 10 pages have been deciphered. The rest of the book is a mystery as to what it is. The first 10 pages, though, this is all written in Old Latin. And apparently, also, it's coded as well. From what we know, the first 10 pages are a ledger. It is basically a list of people who owe money, people who have credit, mortgages, people's names for their mortgage. And at that point, they go, we don't know what the rest of the book says. Some people debate how coded it is. Some people say it's just in a old Latin that's unfamiliar to the experts in Kakistan. Other people go, Latin is one of the easiest languages to learn. Even old Latin can't be that difficult. Somebody who works in a library at this level should at least be able to figure out some of it. So there's a bit of debate on how coded it is. I think that there are codes in it. We don't have photographs of the pages. It's either coded, and the experts in Kakistan could only decipher the first 10 pages. They couldn't decipher the rest of it. There's also the theory that the other pages could be warped or sticking together, so much so that you can't really analyze it without high-level equipment. You would need something called a hyperspectral sensor. This is usually what they'll use to read ink on pages that may be like pasted together. Again, the Joey incident, but it's disgusting. It's a gross joke. It was gross enough when you said it, but now you're like giving the visual. The book's very sticky, very slick to the touch. You need a hyperspectral sensor to read pages that are stuck together. You also need, and I didn't know this, you need high-level experts, because they've had the book since 2014. And they don't know what the remaining 320 pages are. I was reading online and someone was saying, it takes a lot to translate this stuff, especially if it's code, because you need a specific code cracker. You need a specific image expert to go, no, that's not code. That's actually, this is what happens when ink is in a human-bound book for hundreds of years. You need mathematicians if there is a code. And all of those people are specialists, and this would, while they would probably all be intrigued, it would be low level in the sense that if the library at Kakistan says, hey, we need help deciphering this book, a world-class mathematician would go, oh, that sounds awesome, I'd love to do it, but I have all of these other projects before this one. I have to do all this stuff before I get to your book. Because I wondered, even the articles about this came out in like 2023, and they still have no updates whether or not they've read anymore. But apparently it takes a long time to decipher these types of texts. But what we know is that the 10 pages that have been deciphered are simple ledger pages. Apparently, it belonged to a notary named Petrus Parduus, The book says that it came from the city of Mondovi in Piedmont, northern Italy. The going theories is, one, it is a financial book, the whole thing. The 10 pages that they've been able to decipher is what the rest of the book will say, just in a code. And the reason why it's bound in human flesh is because that is what is left of one of the debtors in the book. And this idea, if a notary or a collection agent or an accountant or whoever, he's keeping track of how much money you owe, and you're like, how many doubloons left do I have to pay Petraeus? You go to his house and you're like, listen, man, I'm tired of paying you. You're charging me all of this interest. I'm just thinking about, leaving. Because it's 1534. You'll never drag me down. I can literally move 2 miles away, and as far as you know, I'm across the planet. And Petrus goes, oh, yes, your debts. Let me look that up. Yes, where did I put my book of human flesh? You're like, what? He's like, oh, yes, this is the flesh of the last guy who threatened not to pay me. And pull my book out. And you'd be like, okay, how much do I owe? How much extra money do you want? You know what I mean? Like, if the guy telling you need to give me my money has a flesh-covered book, you're going to pay your debt. He's like, I just bought this whole first edition of Harry Potter books. They haven't even been written yet. And I'm looking for protective covers for each of them. How big are you, sir? Oh, yes. I can see you drinking a lot of wine. You're getting a little saggy in the skin. I mean, here's the thing. If I had a book of human flesh, if I was going to get a book that had a cover made of human flesh, I would want, not like, no offense, but I wouldn't want like old man flesh. I would want like young, supple flesh on my book. So if anything, I would be like, how your kids doing? How's Gladys? How's she doing in college? I heard that she's quite the student there. I've heard that she's really good at track and field, keeping her skin nice and tight. And you're like, what? And I was like, well, look at you. You're a little flabby. You've been drinking all that wine. Look at it. You got jaundice. Your skin is turning yellow. You got to pay your debt soon, sir, before you die. I don't need a yellow book cover. But your daughter, yes. Her skin would be perfect for my collection of encyclopedias. What skin does his daughter have? She has 18 volumes worth of skin. But you know what I mean? Like, if I had a book of, if someone said, hey, Jason, we're going to make you a book of human flesh, what age do you want? This is the weirdest hypothetical ever. I'm like, let me think about that. I've actually considered that before. Let me remember what my answer was. I would want, like, 20-year-old flesh. I wouldn't want, like, 50-year-old flesh. Jason, what are you admitting to? This is terrifying. Your answer should be no thanks. I don't want a book bound in human flesh. But if you had to get a book, if someone held you down and said, you need to get a book of human flesh, Jason, it doesn't work. It's just insane. If it's an insane hypothetical question. If you were forced, if the universe was going to explode unless you received a book bound in human flesh and you could never throw it away, you had to sleep with it every night. You had to put it on your face. You had to sleep with it directly on your face and kiss it. Mwah. How old would you want the skin, is what I'm saying. So please post those comments in YouTube using your real name. What type of skin would you want on your book? I wouldn't want old 50-year-old Italian man flesh. Whoa, geez, that's kind of racist. No, I have nothing against Italians. I mean, I would Italian daughters, sure, you bind my books all the time. I'm buying extra books just to get them bound. What I'm saying is like old man flesh. I wouldn't want, I'll leave out the ethnicity. I wouldn't want old man flesh, Sicilian. Ugh. No, I wouldn't want old man flesh. And I'm 50, right? So technically I wouldn't want a book bound to my own flesh. This whole thing has been me going, oh, gross, you guys don't want books made of me. No, disgusting. There's a guy at my door right now demanding his money. Young flesh is what I would want. But anyways, that's not why I wanted to tell this story. That just popped in my head. That's not why I wanted to tell the story. What's interesting is, so the book, let's assume the book is coded. Oh, that was the other thing. It's either a debt collector trying to intimidate people, and this would be a quite efficient intimidation tactic, or it's a more occultic than the first few pages lead on. It might just be a ledger to begin with, but people's hobbies change. How many times have you bought a spiral notebook because you're going to start writing your own comic book, and then, like maybe 15 pages past that, it becomes your workout routine. You start writing down, what weights you're going to lift and all of that stuff. People's hobbies change. It could have been that. The notary could have been his actual ledger, but then over time he goes, you know what, making money is pretty cool and all, but I want to be an evil man who worships pure darkness. Then, he starts writing these codes in. Maybe he went mad because he found out the wrong information. He's like, number 2 doesn't exist. Satan is real. But you know what I mean? He could start off as a ledger and then become this occult manual. And that would explain why it's bound in human flesh. That is very typical of, again, it's super rare, but if you were going to have a book bound in human flesh, it having some sort of religious symbolism or some sort of offering or what have you, memento of your very first sacrifice, that would track. So it could just be a ledger. It could be that it's not coded at all, and it's just illegible due to time and warping and all that stuff. And people just haven't gotten around to, while intriguing, it's not high on the priority list of all these other projects a code cracker has to work on in a given year. The other option is it is coded, but it is, if you broke the code, it's just financial. It continues to be financial documents that this particular notary didn't want to have available to all eyes, right? And then the third option is that it is actually coded because it's some sort of occultic text. And occult means hidden or to hide. So it just follows along that. Whatever the case of what's in the book, it is bound in human flesh. They have tested that. What's interesting, though, is that, people nowadays are going, why don't you just run it through ChatGPT? Why don't you just upload the images to an AI program and let that decipher it? And I'm not an AI absolute hater guy. I'm definitely not like everything AI has to be destroyed by any means, or even, it's like it's a tool is the way I see it. But just a little heads up, I don't think I would run unknown, possibly occult texts through an AI. I just think that's a bad idea. We can make all sorts of argument about AI-driven video cameras, like surveillance cameras, or AI-powered weapons, autonomous vehicles that make the decision to kill on their own. There's pros and cons to a lot of that stuff. They're the only pro to running a book like this through an AI is it saves you some time deciphering it. The cons are, if you got a book and you are reading it and it goes, read no further, dear traveler, for what is beyond this page is full of the darkest secrets mankind will ever know. And you turn the page and they're like, are you sure you want to keep reading? You turn the page and they go, I'm telling you, bucko, this is not good information. This information will warp your mind. And you turn the page and you're like, I'm just getting bored. You're like, just open the book up to the middle and you immediately go insane. You can go, yeah, maybe I don't want this in my head. It's the same thing when you're watching a scary movie, Faces of Death, for example. Not the original, the 2026 movie. I just saw that the other night. I really liked it. You're like, Jason, please stop saying that. Please, it's out of context. And even in context, it's very troubling. Oh, you loved the movie Faces of Death? Oh, great. You're sitting there and you're watching Faces of Death with me. I'm binding books. So like, hey, I hit a sorority party, Kappa Tech sorority this weekend. Got all these new book covers. We're sitting there and we get to the part where the dude is strapped to the table, only his head sticking out, and they're about to bash his skull open and eat his brains. And you're like, I don't want to see this. I'm all turning the volume up. I'm all turning it up super loud. I was like, what? What? I didn't hear you. Oh, let me rewind this. Let me rewind the scene. His brains come out. His brains go in. His brains come out. His brains go in. You're like, gross. You can make decisions when you're reading things or watching things, be like, this isn't good for me. This is I'm like, this book, and it's fiction, right? This in this example, like Faces of Death is fiction, or is it? But anyways, you're watching it and you go, nah, I don't need this in my head right now, man. We've all done that, right? People have different thresholds for it, but you're watching something and you're like, nah, I don't need to be watching this. I don't need to be reading this. I'm not in the right headspace for this. Humans can back out when they are faced with information that they feel will be harmful or information they know is downright forbidden. And some will go forward, and they may mentally or psychically or spiritually pay the consequences for that knowledge, i.e. go mad. Or just have bad nightmares, right? You reading that Dean Koontz book, it got to a really intense part, but you powered through it, and then you couldn't sleep, and you had to go to work the next day, super tired. You know what I'm saying? A chat program, an AI program, does not have that. And it will just power through the whole text, and we don't know what's in it. I don't think that we should be giving the AI untranslated occultic text. To be completely honest, I don't think we should give it translated occultic text either. Because if this stuff actually has power in it, if these are legitimate books with legitimate information, and most of them aren't, right? Most of them are just like books you can pick up at Barnes & Noble about witchcraft. But I'm talking about like legit books, and you're running it through an AI by it simply processing the information. Is that the same as speaking it? You know, you have this book, you speak this incantation, the AI could speak it, or, you know, it doesn't have a mouth yet, right? The sex robots arrive, then they'll just be talking nonstop. But for now, the AI, like just processing this ancient occultic text, what would happen to it? And what would happen to its surroundings? What would happen to the world if it's reading like a Necromanon level demon portal opening spell? It's not 5 kids in a cabin in the woods. It's in some data server in Utah. Some guy in Kakistan uploads this book, and then it gets processed in Utah, and all of a sudden this massive portal opens up. People are like, getting sucked in as the gates of hell are thrown open. This wasn't predicted. There is no final battle between good and evil. They broke the Revelation prophecy, right? They got a little sneak attack in, and everything is happening when it shouldn't be. All because we wanted to find out what was in a human skin book a couple years early. I mean, humans can't do this. It just takes longer. I don't think it's a good idea to be uploading this stuff to ChatGPT or any AI program. But it'll be interesting because I could totally see that happening more and more. I think more and more people, when they find books and they can't decipher them. A couple people, I've seen a lot of people post on Reddit actually, that they took the Voynich manuscript, which is one of the most well-known indecipherable texts. The Voynich manuscript has been around for a long time. I don't think we've ever really covered it on the show because it's so mainstream, but people have run it through ChatGPT and they've said, this is what it says, but you know, it's just spitting out whatever. These AI programs, we can't verify it, right? You have to double check your work. We still don't have the code. The AI goes, oh yeah, no, it's this type of book, it's that type of book. The Voynich manuscript is mysterious, but I don't think it's, I don't know if it's evil or good, but I do know it's not bound in human flesh, which can kind of make the alignment of the bookmaker a little questionable. But interesting story. So yes, send me your age groups. Send me. Do you want 30-year-old human flesh? Maybe I would do like an old person, because that would just be notable as like, this book is in the flesh of Albert Einstein. This book is Albert Einstein's skin, and this book's from Amelia Earhart's skin. You're like, Jason, I think you're getting ripped off. Their skin dissolved decades ago. Amelia Earhart's never even been found. I was like, I don't know. Kaiser, let's go ahead and toss you the keys to the Hare hovercraft. We are leaving behind Kakistan. Why don't you hover us all the way out to a young woman's house? A lot of quiet vehicles tonight. It is pretty late for me to be recording. Apologize to my neighbor. But anyways, it's November 2025. We're about to meet a young woman. Oh no, I think it's a gay guy. Yeah, it's a gay guy, sorry. Like, Jason, what? It's an odd mistake to make. Well, I could re-record all that stuff, but it's late. I can't go back and record all that stuff. I really apologize. The reason why is because one of the main characters is the narrator's boyfriend. It's not a woman. It's not a girl. It's a man. He's a 23-year-old man. We'll call him Clark. We don't have his real name. And he has a boyfriend. That's what threw me off until I looked over at my notes. He had a boyfriend. Had being the operative word. But at the time in November 2025, him and his boyfriend, we'll call his boyfriend Joey. He's just moved over from Pakistan. He had to leave in shame after that whole book incident. Joey and Clark are dating, and Joey goes, Hey, Clark, I got something for you for being the best boyfriend ever. And Clark's like, oh, that's awesome. And that is when Joey gives Clark a cat. Its name is Moses, Joey says. So, yeah, a cat named Moses, which I guess is a cool name for a cat. It's kind of weird, right? Because who do you think of when you think of Moses, right? Like, Moses, dude, with the staff and the water and all that. But anyways, this cat is not Moses. You're like, oh, that's a fascinating story. The actual Moses reincarnated as a cat? No. But this story might even be more odd than that. So Clark gets Moses. He's 7 months old. And Clark immediately falls in love with Moses. And Moses immediately falls in love with Clark and Joey. And they're just having a great time. They're a young couple in love with this great cat. This playful, cuddly, sweet cat. Meow. Meow. Moses, I'll get you your food right now. Here's your dinner. Meow. Crawls up in Clark's lap. Well, that's how it was for the first couple weeks. At least. But what happens is after a couple weeks, so now we're in December of 2025, Joey goes, this isn't working out, dude. This isn't working out. I can't date you no more. We're breaking up. No, Joey, no. I thought we were lovers. Well, we were, but not anymore. I don't love you anymore. And Joey's like, I'm going to the bookstore. I'm going to my one true love, the bookstore. But first, pulls out a giant knife. First, where's the nearest sorority house? Oh, wait. I wonder if he would want fraternity skin for his books. Because he's into dudes, right? I don't know. Jason, well, see, you were about to argue with me on that. You're like, well, that's kind of insensitive. And then you go, actually, no, that kind of makes a good point. Maybe he would. I wouldn't want a book in a man's flesh. Right? You're like, Jason, I don't think that's a good thing to say out loud. You shouldn't want any flesh. Don't be like, I'm not gay. I prefer my books to be the supple flesh of a young college student. Just don't say it at all. Or think it. Just don't do that stuff. Anyways, I mean, in a pinch, I would have a book in man's human flesh. A bunch of loose leaf paper. I was like, oh, I need a binder. I need a 3-ring binder. Never mind. That takes too much work. I'm going to go kill a man and tan his hide and use that instead. That'll be much simpler. In a pinch, I would use man's skin, but I would also want it to be like fit man's skin. It's like a pack. It's like the binding of the book is a bicep, and then the covers is one pec and then the other. I'd want it to be like good, hard, tanned man skin. I wouldn't want old skin, but anyways. You're filling out your Dead Rapper Radio bingo cards. You're like, nope, not on here, surprisingly. It wasn't on here at all, ever. But anyway, so Joey leaves, he breaks up with Clark, but when he leaves Moses behind. So Clark has Moses now. A gift from Joey, sure, but, you know, it's kind of like you're a reminder of my lost love, but I also love you, Moses, so we'll have a good time together. Well, that was the plan until January 3rd, 2026. So just like really not that long after they got the cat to begin with. January 3rd, 2026, Clark is hanging out in his house when all of a sudden, according to Clark, this is all according to Clark, obviously, because Moses doesn't have a Reddit account, but, well, as far as we know, because the story gets weird, Clark said, I was hanging out in my house when totally out of the blue, I didn't antagonize Moses at all. Moses jumped on my face and began attacking me with the full fury of a 9-month-old cat. He's no longer 7 months old. That was back in November. He's getting stronger. Moses, what are you doing? Row, row, row. And he's actually clawing. Moses is actually clawing at Clark's face to the point that he drew blood. When Clark is finally able to get Moses off of him, Clark's face is bloody, and it's not like covered in blood. It's like Bloody Mary's all out. Boo. He's jumping out of mirrors. No, but still, you don't expect to get mauled at all. Even a little bit of blood is alarming. And this attack was so fierce, Moses left a scar on Clark's face, on his cheek. Again, nothing. He didn't look like the Phantom of the Opera, but it was just like a little cut. And I have scars from cat attacks. They're pretty, those claws are meant to take down parakeets. 2 days after that, January 5th, 2026, Clark actually left the house. He goes, dude, Moses attacked me. He left me all cut up. Look at this little scar on my face. I can't go home. But after about 2 days, he goes, you know what? Maybe that insane cat who tried to blind me completely unprovoked, maybe he was just having a bad day. Clark goes, I figured maybe Moses was just having an off day. So I went back home. And I have the same question you do. Well, who was feeding Moses? And that's a long time to leave a cat by himself, right? Unless there's a lot of parakeets around for him to eat. But maybe he has one of those auto feeders. Maybe he's an outdoor cat. We don't know. We can assume Clark is a responsible pet owner, but let's keep going with the story. So anyways, Clark comes home after 2 days. Hey, Moses, how's it going? Meow. Meow. Oh, Moses, I thought you were just probably having a bad day. Well, if he was, then Moses was having another bad day. Because once again, Moses attacked Clark's face completely unprovoked, leaving a mark on Clark's forehead. Not a scar. It wasn't as vicious as the first attack. Oh, and this probably answers an earlier question. After that, Clark goes, that's it, Moses. You don't get to live in the house anymore. You're now an outdoor cat. And I think he was like an indoor-outdoor cat. But now he's strictly an outdoor cat, which that's pretty young, but I guess kittens are outdoor cats anyways. Clark goes, that's it, dude. I can't have you in my house. You're attacking me out of the blue. He leaves Moses outside, and he goes, he's just too wild for the indoors. So that should be the end of it, right? You have a cat, it has a bad brain, it happens. People go insane, animals go insane. Your cat's attacking you, I'm just going to leave them outside. It's attacking all the kids in town. They're like, oh, they're all walking around with bloody faces. I wonder why all those people in my neighborhood have bloody faces, but me. I don't know. I had the bloody face that one time for my cat, but ever since I locked him outside, my face has been totally normal. Go figure. He leaves Moses outside, but then, and this is really your first clue that something's not right. Not with Moses, but possibly Clark. You're reading this, and he gets to this line. Clark writes, quote, every time I brought him outside, he somehow manages to open the window and get back inside, unquote. Now, I know cats are wily. I love cats. They're not known for having thumbs. They're not known for being able to undo locks on windows and sneak back in, but apparently Moses can. It's not even that he said, here's one thing. You could go, I don't know how Moses gets back in, but he does. You could figure he's getting in through some sort of cellar entrance, some sort of crawl space, and there's an opening somewhere. You lock your cat outside, you come home from work, your cat's back inside. That's one thing. You would start looking for openings. But Clark exactly knows how Moses is getting in. He's unlocking the window and sneaking in. I don't think that is possible. And if you go, well, no, cats are wily. They're quite clever. They probably could figure a way into. I could see them open, an unlocked window. I guess that's what he said, open the window. So you're like, Jason, he's not a safecracker. He's not a cat burglar. But maybe he's just pushing the window open. You're right. Looking over, he doesn't specifically say he's unlocking the window. Okay, fair. Then Clark writes, quote, all of February 2026, he writes, quote, all of February, he, meaning Moses, all of February, he has gotten many sharp items and tried to stab me with them, unquote. So, I know they can't do that, right? We can quibble all day long if the window's locked or not. But outside of a cat who's 10 months old at this point, holding a nail file in its mouth, that's the only weapon I can imagine it wielding that wouldn't injure himself. And if I ever saw a cat with a nail file in its mouth, I wouldn't assume the cat was trying to attack me. But according to Clark, it's happened multiple times. It's not that he just was holding a sharp item. He's, quote, tried to stab me with them. This has happened multiple times. Moses is actually, with some sort of bladed implement, tried to, not its claws. I mean, it's kind of born with the best that it has. It can climb up walls, it can obviously unlock windows, it can draw blood, it can leave scars. But somehow Moses is getting hold of sharp items and then trying to stab Clark multiple times. So at this point you go, is the problem Moses? Or is the problem Clark? Is he hallucinating all of this? Is he suffering from some sort of mental illness? You know, 23, a 23-year-old man, that is prime schizophrenia age. Could be something like that. He said the other day he was sitting there and Moses was just staring at him with a evil stare. Moses then jumped on Clark and bit Clark's neck so hard he needed to go to the hospital to get stitches. Now, here's the thing. You go, well, wait a second. So is this guy insane or is this cat evil? He goes to the hospital. He probably did go and get stitches. And the doctor probably goes, yo, what happened to you? And he goes, my cat bit me. Left this giant gash. But is it possible Clark could be hurting himself? He's dressing up as a cat. There is no Moses. Joey took Moses months ago. And now Clark's walking around in a cat suit biting himself. He's hallucinating the whole thing. Moses' food bowl is empty, been empty for months, and there's a little cat skeleton somewhere in the crawl space of the house. But Clark doesn't remember that. He doesn't remember not feeding the cat. He's just walking around the house all by himself going, no, put it down, put down the steak knife, put down the steak knife, Moses, no! And you're his next door neighbor, you're like, damn it. Oh my goodness, why do I have to put up with this? Moses, no, quit biting my neck with your tiny cat jaws. Stitches. I need stitches, blood spurting everywhere. How'd you get in? How'd you break into the house? You're like, isn't Moses a cat? Also, I'm pretty sure Moses is dead. I smelled him. I smelled the decaying body under there just wafting over the fence a couple months ago. But anyways, here's the thing. I love the paranormal. I talk about the paranormal all the time. I don't think Moses is walking around with knives. It's funny because in the realm of possibility, it's possible, right? When we talk about everything we talk about on this show, a cat wielding a sharp object isn't totally insane. But in this case, I don't think that it's happening. I think Clark is actually hallucinating all of this stuff. And the problem is that, let's say that Moses is still alive, and it's actually not attacking Clark, but either Clark is provoking it and not realizing he's provoking it, and then maybe the cat glares at him every once in a while, but then Clark hallucinates him with a knife in his mouth, which is the only way I can imagine it. If he says, yeah, and every so often, Moses stands up on both of his legs and throws a switchblade from paw to paw. Like it's some sort of Heathcliff cartoon, you know? That'd be awesome. I was like, oh, dude, can I come over? Can I come over? I'll just wear a neck guard. I want to see your cat do all this cool stuff. I think he's hallucinating it. I think probably, I'm just a guess here, the heartbreak of losing his boyfriend might have spiraled him out. Moses is a representation of that romance that did not last. Pretty irresponsible of Joey to leave Moses behind, honestly, but I think he's having a mental health crisis. Whether or not it's schizophrenia, I don't know. I mean, I can't diagnose him, but I don't think this is actually happening. The big concern of mine is, one, he probably does have these injuries, but they're very likely self-inflicted. And two, who's going to pay the price for this delusion? Moses. He does say, this post got taken down. I read it and I immediately saved it. I archived it because I knew it was going to be down within minutes. People were going to report it. And so I saved it. He does say, I'm thinking about putting my cat down, but I think that would be kind of cruel, so I don't want to do that. Then I'm thinking about giving him away. But that would be cruel to another person because I know what Moses is actually capable of. He's an evil, evil cat. And I don't want other people to be injured by him as well. I think this story will, unfortunately, if Clark doesn't get help, end in the death of Moses. Because he's having this delusion. It's funny, all the stuff we talk about on the show, it's possible that the cat has gone totally rogue and is holding a blade and attacking him and scratching him and doing all this stuff. We've talked about possessed animals on this podcast. We've talked about curses. Joey could have left and placed a curse on the house and it manifested itself into Moses. That stuff in the world of the paranormal is all possible. But in this particular circumstance, reading this post, I think the problem is Clark. And I think if Moses doesn't get out, it's actually good that he's an outside cat now. Because maybe he'll find a home somewhere else, or at least be able to hide in the tall weeds the day Clark is stomping through the yard. Moses, Moses, why did you cancel my car insurance? Oh man, I know it was you. I just got in a car accident and Geico says I'm not covered. Where are you, Moses? You betrayed me. Cats and lizards are supposed to hate each other. Why did you choose him over me, Moses? The neighbor's like, oh my God. Listen, man, I think probably one of the most frustrating things would be, one, to live with someone who was going through a mental health crisis, but just like living in the neighborhood. I watch all those police body cam videos of like local neighborhood bully gets beat up by the police, but there'll always be some guy who's just screaming all day long in the neighborhood. Finally, the police come out and they're like, dude, we've been out to this house like 30 times in the past year. You need to stop threatening people in your neighborhood. And it was like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do, huh? Tase me? And then the cops tase them. And so, yeah, I think that would just be so rough to live. I've lived with people who have had drug problems, and I've lived in neighborhoods or apartment complexes people have drug problems. But, I mean, you know, every so often they're totally normal when they're not on drugs. I mean, imagine if they were just constantly on meth, nonstop. And they're just outside screaming about their cat trying to kill them and canceling their car insurance. You're like, dude, I agree that the cat might want to kill you. I want to kill you for all the chaos that you're making next door. But I don't think your cat canceled your insurance. Plus, also, I think it's a gecko, not a lizard. Clark's like, wow, freaking out. He's like, why? Why are you holding that knife? You're like, what? We're just standing here. I'm not holding a knife. I'm holding a soda can. Clark attacks you. It's sad and weird. And I hope Moses is okay. The account, if I recall, was deleted. They basically banned him from Reddit, so we'll never be able to figure out what happened to Moses. I think we can put on our conspiracy caps and say Moses is doing just fine. Moses got away from this abusive household. He doesn't have to worry about Clark. And, you know, I'd also like to say Clark's probably doing good too. Hopefully realize, man, I guess that cat actually wasn't breaking into my house and holding a knife to my throat while I was sleeping. It seemed so real. But now that I've started seeking counseling and taking the right medication, you know what? I'm not worried about it anymore. And Clark is walking out of the mental hospital. And the doctor turns around. It's Moses. He's like, those medicines are actually full of tiny knives. Those capsules you'll swallow, Clark, will soon cut your stomach. And then you won't be in a mental hospital, you'll be in a real hospital. And they'll stitch you up. And I'll disguise myself as a Band-Aid. And I'll slither in through the wound in your stomach. And then Moses, will live in your body. And it's like, what? Why would a cat want to do that? Well, Moses is crazy. Maybe Moses is the one who's crazy all along. Moses is now inside Clark, and he's like, I don't feel good, doctor, ever since you did that surgery, and I saw that dirty bandage, that cat-shaped bandage crawling in my open wound. I haven't felt too well. Doctor's like, I don't know. I hate to break it to you too, Clark, but your medical insurance was canceled mysteriously. So you're going to have to pay this out of pocket. We're not going to let you leave until you give us 20 grand. Anyways, Clark gets home and he's like, oh, my stomach doesn't feel good. But luckily I'm safe at home and safe up here as he taps his head. He goes, I'm no longer mentally insane. I went to a mental hospital for one day, took some sharp pills. It was surprisingly sharp. I don't know why it hurt so much. But now I'm not insane anymore. I'm just going to sit here and just watch some television. And he turns on television, And then all of a sudden his stomach, he looks down and he sees his stomach moving. He's like, that's not good. And then the incision opens up, and then Moses leaps out covered in blood and bile and attacks Clark's face. And as Moses is eating Clark's eyeballs, Clark is going, no, I need those. I need those. I have a job interview tomorrow. I need to be able to see. Moses is like, I don't care. Arr! Eating the eyeballs up, Moses goes, you weren't insane. You were the most sane person ever. I was in like, listen, what are you talking about? You're like, oh, I hope the cat's doing fine. I don't believe Clark. I think he's totally insane. But it turns out that, sometimes I'm wrong. It turns out Moses actually was evil. Apparently, he got a hold of a human-bound book from Kakistan, and he understood it. He understood every single word. And he went insane. Kaiser, we're going to have you back to fly the Carpenter Copter tomorrow. Sorry we didn't get to that. Maybe we'll do it not tomorrow, but I will get you back very shortly to fly the Carpenter Copter. Thank you so much for buying the merch, and thank you all for listening. And Jason, this comes off completely insincere. You're just talking about a cat murdering a man. An insane man, by the way. Yeah, but I do appreciate it. Appreciate you listening to the podcast. You're all shaking your head. You're like, I don't know, this might be my last episode. Not my last episode. We'll be back, but it might be yours. DeadRabbitRadio@gmail.com is going to be our email address. You can also hit us up at Facebook.com/DeadRabbitRadio. TikTok is @DeadRabbitRadio. Dead Rabbit Radio is the daily paranormal, conspiracy, and true crime podcast. You don't have to listen to that. You don't have to listen to it every day, but I'm so glad you listened to it today. Have a great day.